Bitch, I'm back. I'm popular the man.
I'm Malika Yeru. I'm 27 years old. I started Hair Hustle 5 years ago this month. I expect my listeners to gain knowledge on what it takes to start up a company, as well as how much hard work and dedication comes to owning your own company, owning your own business, starting a business, being an entrepreneur, because I feel as though a lot of people, just make it seem like it's just like this and you could start a business, but people don't tell you really about how tedious it is and how much work you really have to put in to become your own boss and make your own money and not have a second stream of income from someone else. Like, just have all of your revenue come from the muscle. Hair Hustle started 5 years ago in my son's grandmother's living room. I was living with my son's father, and my son was 2 years old. I wasn't able to go to work because somebody had to stay home to watch our child. So he would go to work, and I had to stay home. I had to figure out a way that I could make money while still sitting at home, because I didn't like having to necessarily depend on anyone else or have to always ask somebody if I needed something for myself or my son. And I just didn't like having to depend on people. And at that time in my life, I was dependent on everybody for everything. So something had to change. I just came up with the thought of, like, what can I do to make money by doing something that comes easy to me. I didn't want to have to make money by doing something that was just what was in at the time or what everybody wanted, or what everybody was doing. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I just needed to figure out a way to make money by doing something that comes easy to me, and it started Hair Hustle. Hair Hustle actually started off as My Hair Hustle, and My stood for Malika Yeru Hair Hustle. Don't ask me why. I know that was a long title, but that's what it started off as initially. It started off as My Hair Hustle. And as time went on and I started taking myself more and more serious, I realized that I had to come up with a more realistic name, and that's what birthed Hair Hustle. The cons with, I'll start with the cons first. The cons with building a company is trying to figure out what could make me different from everyone else. And in turn of me thinking what could make me different from everyone else, I chose pricing. So at this time, I decided to make my prices lower than everyone else. That became a con for myself because I wasn't making as much money as I needed, and I would be working all day long and wouldn't have anything to show for it. Another con would be, in the beginning of my company, it would be my environment more so, because I was literally like the kitchen stylist. I was doing hair in the living room with my 2 year old, and everybody running in and out of the house. And it was like people came to me for the sake that I had the lowest prices and I had good styles and everything. But for the most part, it was real ratchet, okay, in the beginning. And anybody who has been with me since the beginning knows exactly what I'm talking about. Sitting in the lawn chair in the living room with my toddler next to me, playing with a bunch of toys. Let me go back to pros from the past. Pros from the past was I got to learn what to do and what not to do. I did everything from being an assistant to to being in the house, to learning what my worth is, to learning how much I should be getting. And because I was just starting out, I got to slowly build my clientele based on the fact that my prices were so low. So I was easily able to build my clientele. So people got to see, like, okay, she's doing it for this price, but she need to charge more, but I'm not going to say anything because I want to pay this price. But it in turn got them to come back. And when I started to raise my prices, it allowed for them to know that even though I raised my prices, you're getting your money's worth by coming to me. So the cons of my business where I am currently would have to be knowing when it's time to elevate myself, because I work for myself. I do everything, I have a team behind me, but it's my business. So I have to know when it's time to take the next step. It's not as if there's someone watching me to promote me or to tell me it's time to change, like transition or do anything like that. When you work for yourself, you are the one who has to make those final decisions, and everybody who works under you or everybody on your team is looking to you to know when it's time to make a next decision or when it's time to transition in your business. So I think that would be like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a con, but it could technically be in that category, only because I could still be comfortable where I'm at and then not feel a need to transition and not feel a need to elevate myself. And that could be a con because it could hinder me in the long run, or I could not be as far as I should be because I'm comfortable. For instance, when I started out with Hair Hustle, I wasn't a licensed cosmetologist. I hadn't even gone to cosmetology school or thought about it. It was literally just a hustle. It was just something to do. I still had another job on the side. I actually didn't even decide to make Hair Hustle my one and only thing until Hair Hustle was 3 years old. Yes, because Hair Hustle was 2 years old when I decided to go get my cosmetology license. And I didn't start working for myself until Hair Hustle was 3 years old. So, yeah, I was still working somewhere else. I think my last job that I had before Hair Hustle was like my main thing, was working as a cashier at the Children's Place across the street from Empire on 15th and Chestnut. So that shows you how not serious I took myself, okay? Okay, so a pro for where my company is right now would be, I'm proud of the fact that we are elevating and growing. I no longer want to be, just the person behind the chair, doing hair all day. Like, I want to become a household name. I want to be a brand. I want to be a one-stop shop, but I want it to be worth it. You know what I mean? I don't want you just to come here and I'm pulling out everything that everyone else has. Like, I'm really dedicating myself 100% to everything that I do for my business, and to the point where right now I'm in school for business management and leadership to get my bachelor's degree. And it's 100% online because I still gotta run a business. And it's like, I'm just so dedicated in everything. So I would say that's a pro. Like, just watching everything unfold and just watching God bless me continuously, and seeing how far I've come from where I started at. Like, that's a pro. Just being able to see how far I've come. Okay? Initially, I came up with my prices I didn't want to have any styles over $100. And in the beginning, my prices were horrible. Like, now that I know better, it's like my prices was crazy, okay? They was crazy. Listen, it didn't make no sense. I can still remember to this day, I only did 2 styles. So when I first came out, all I did was individuals. Mind you, my individuals was the size of micros. They was like They was the littlest braids you can imagine. And guess how much I charged for them? I charged $40. $40 for individuals the size of micros. Okay? Any length on top of that. So you could get them to your butt. It would still be $40. Okay? And it was the size of micros. It would take me all day to do one client, and I would have how much in my pocket at the end of the day? $40. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous, but that's how much I charged. And then Goddess Locks came out. Well, Faux Locks came out first. So Faux Locks came out, and when Faux Locks came out, I charged $60 for medium faux locks, and then I moved up to, it was $60 for medium locks and $80 for small locks. So those were the 3 styles I was doing in the beginning. I did $40 individuals, that was basically micros, any length. I did $60 medium medium faux locks, and then I did $80 small faux locks. At this time, right now, my medium locks take me 2 hours to do, tops. Okay, at this time, my medium locks took me 6 to 8 hours to do. My small locks took me 8 to 10 hours to do. So I was working from the time I dropped my son off at daycare, because by this time I was in daycare when locks came out. So Kai would go to school, I would work until it was time to pick him up. Half the time, I would have to go pick him up and come back and finish doing it. And all I would have to show for my work that day is $60, $80, or $40. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous, but those were my prices back then. My prices now have more than doubled, obviously. 2 people told me to raise my prices. Well, a lot of people told me to raise my prices, but 2 people I listened to. When I was in hair school, I started working at Beyond Blessed Hair Studio under Dom and Emily. And when I first started working there, Emily was the one who told me that I could not work in her salon with those prices. And at first, I'm like, but my brand, and everybody knows me as the person who does these locks for $40, and everybody knows me as the person who does, these individuals for $40 and locks for $60 or $80. Like, everything I do is under $100. And she was like, Malika, you cannot make no money and pay us with $40, $60, and $100 prices. And when she said that, it was like, okay. So she was like, at the minimum, your prices need to be $100. And from that day on, because I couldn't work in her shop without having my prices raised, prices went up. And she told me something that I never forgot, and this was years ago. She said, Malika, if people want you to do their hair, they're going to pay for you to do their hair. It doesn't matter how much you charge. It doesn't matter how expensive it is or how inexpensive it is. If people want you to do their hair, if they love your work enough, if they love coming to you enough, they're going to come to you no matter the price. And that really changed my entire mindset and my entire mentality. And then when I realized, once I did change my prices and I started making more money for the same thing that I was doing then, it was like straight running from there. And then it became a matter of I became the quickest with the styles that I started to do. So like now, not only are you getting a good style, the style that you actually want, and my prices, they're higher, but they're not as bad as everyone else's around me. It's like, and you're not sitting here for hours. Girl, please, okay? It was it. It was off. It was like off with me, okay? Second person that I spoke to who gave me great advice about my finances was Myleik Teal. And I met her at Sarah Jake Roberts' Women Evolve conference in Colorado. And I had explained to her, I said, I feel like I'm doing all of this work, but I don't necessarily have time for me. And she also told me to raise my prices. And she said, because what'll happen is when you raise your prices, you'll get more money for the same thing you're already doing, but you're not doing as much work. And also you won't be as upset about having to work so often or not having time, because your bank account will show like, okay, yeah, I worked all week, but I got enough money to now go and have some me time, and to also take time off and allot myself and know that like I'm not going to be in the red if I take this day off, or if I take this 2 days off, or it's like those were like, that's the reason my prices went up. That's what caused my prices to change. And also, if nothing else, I feel like I do a damn good job. Like, period. I do a damn good job. I set the environment and the tone. I'm very respectful. You get a bomb ass hairstyle. You get it done with the quickness, honey. And the hair is included. And the prices is still lower than everybody with the hair not included. Listen. Hair Hustle gained its wings, I would say, when I dropped a promo video for Goddess Locks. Before then, I wasn't necessarily known as far as social media was concerned. Before the Goddess Locks phase came about, I literally was just doing families, friends of family, people, word of mouth. I wasn't really taken serious on social media, and I didn't have clients that I didn't know at this time. So I dropped one day. I was in my room. I had just did my Goddess Locks, and I had did a video with my Snapchat, with Snapchat on my phone, and I recorded probably like 4 or 5 different styles with the Goddess Locks. And I remember the song was like, I can make you feel, I'll make you feel, I'll make you feel alright. And I put that song to the video of me doing a bunch of the Snapchat videos where I wasn't talking enough, and I was just feeling myself in the camera with all these different styles. I think I had the 2 buns. I had the regular bun with the glasses on. I had them down. I just had a bunch of different styles, and I recorded it on Snapchat. I went to iMovie. I put them all together, and then I added the song. And that shit went viral. It hit everybody. I don't know. It was just in a matter of time. That joint, I dropped that probably right before the summer hit. And after that, all I did was Goddess Locks. I no longer was the girl that's just doing family hair. I no longer, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But after that, Goddess Locks, listen, it took off, and I was doing Goddess Locks for the entire summer. I did Goddess Locks. To this day, I still do Goddess Locks. Okay? It's just, that's what really got Hair Hustle off the ground. That one 60-second video of me playing in my hair on Snapchat and add some music to it and post it on Instagram. Now, half the clients I do are strangers that I never met before, and half of these strangers that became girlfriends. I done watched their kids grow up. I done watched them have babies. Listen, I done been here for the baby shower hairstyle, the wedding hairstyle, the vacation hairstyle. Listen, I done did it all, okay? And it's crazy. One idea to record the same thing I do any other day. Record yourself on the phone, put it all together, post it on Instagram with some music, and it took off. In the future, I see Hair Hustle being a household name. I've always said this. Anybody who's ever asked me, where do I see myself going? I want Hair Hustle to be a household name. I want to be able to have everything. I want to be able to have the salon. I want to be able to have the hair store. I want to be able to have it all from the muscle. That's where I want. I want you to be able to go in your here, go in your cabinet, go in your bathroom and pull out, some hair grease. I want you to be able to pull out my leave-in oil. I want you to be able to come and get your braids done for your vacation. I want you to be able to come and get your press and curl and your trim when it's time to take care of your hair. I want you to be able to come and get some body oil. I want you to be able to come and get some lip gloss or a lip kit or a lip scrub. I want you to be able to do it all. I don't want you to just come here, get your hair done, then have to leave here, go to the nullery, then have to leave there and go to the wax person. Like, I want to have a salon that does it all. I want to have a hair store that supplies all of your hair care needs. So if you come to the salon and you forgot your cap, you could go right next door to my shop, to my store, and grab everything that you need. When you go home and it's time for you to now take care of your braids, I want you to be able to grease your scalp with my grease. I want you to be able to oil your scalp with my oil. I want you to be able to oil your man's hair with my hair growth oil. Listen, your son wants some locks. I want you to be able to take his hair growth oil and grow his fro out until he's able to get some locks. Then bring him back to me. Let me start his locks up. Listen, I want to be the whole shebang. Like, I want to be able to do everything. And I'm going to, period. Period on period, poo. Right now, I'm trying to have more revenues than one. I'm trying to figure out how can I make money by not having to stand behind a chair. Like, I want to be able to wake up and know that I made money in my sleep. So right now, that is what I'm currently doing to try to expand my brand. Figure out ways or methods that I can do to make money, make the client happy and pleased with my products, but also do all of these things while not having to actually do anything at all. You know what I mean? Some advice I would have for a person wanting to branch out and become their own boss. That's a good ass question. I have a lot of advice. I'll probably say, I'm going to give 2 tips, like my top 2 tips. 1, be ready to work your ass off. If you're not going to be 100% dedicated to your business, don't start the business. Because if you make that choice to leave your 9 to 5 and start your own company or start your own business or start your own anything, whether it be a boutique or cosmetics or anything, you have to put in 100% of work every single day. Because when you're your own boss, if you don't put in the work, you don't make any money. So if you're not willing to put in the work, don't even start it. Don't even waste your time, because every single day there's a new business starting up that's doing the same thing that you're doing. So if you're not willing to put in the work to make sure you stay and remain known, don't even start the business or waste your time. Another tip of advice I would say is, don't allow someone else's doubt to hinder you being beneficial with your brand, or to hinder you from starting that business or building that company or branching out on your own to become your own boss. A lot of people are going to say, everyone is doing that, don't start this, that doesn't make any sense, can you even do that, should you even do that, I wouldn't do that if I was you, I would stay working for someone else, I would stay having this job, why would you leave your job? Like, everybody's going to say that to you. But you got to know for yourself that this is something that you want to do. If you don't believe it for yourself, it's never going to happen. That's as real as it's going to get. Don't allow somebody else telling you that you can't do it to make you believe that you can't do it. If you feel it in your soul that that's what you want to do, that you want to start this business, then sis, start the business. It's nothing stopping you from doing it but you. Because everybody's going to have an opinion. But when I guarantee you, when you start that business and that business starts to grow and everybody knows your name, they're going to remember the time that they told you you couldn't do that. And they're going to remember all of the things that they said that you shouldn't do and why you shouldn't do it. And if you decide to listen to a person telling you not to do something that you know that is your passion and is what you want to do, you're going to regret that decision for the rest of your life, because every time you clock into somebody else job making somebody else rich, you're going to always think about the things that you should be doing or things you could have been by now had you started that company 5 years ago, had you started that business 3 years ago, had you wrote that book 4 years ago. You could have been somebody by now. But instead, you're still clocking in to the same 9 to 5 that don't give a damn about you. And if anything happens today or tomorrow, will let you go with the quickness. But if you are your own boss, you will never let yourself go. The longest job I've ever kept is Hair Hustle. The longest business I've ever been with is Hair Hustle. That's just facts. So that's my advice I would give to anybody. And that's all I gotta say. Sis, start the business, sis. Sis, start the business, sis. I don't know how to do an outro. So I'm just going to get off now.